Hi, this is Rachel coming to you from the beautiful Humboldt Park YOUmedia. I'm going to show you how to set up a file to decorate a piece of clothing, like a mask. We'll be using heat transfer vinyl, and I'm going to take you from the design process through setting up your file to cut. When I say cut, I'm talking about a vinyl cutter. So this is our Silhouette Cameo that we have at Humboldt Park. Most YOUmedia sites have one or another cutter that you could use to do this kind of project. Not every site will have heat transfer vinyl on hand, so you can pick up some here, or you can ask the teen staff at your local YOUmedia if they might be able to purchase that for you to use there. I'm going to start off by tracing the mask and making sure my design fits into the template. I'll have a template ready for you if you come visit us in the space. I don't think the vinyl will do well on the seam, so I'm going to measure that part as well. Here I'm drawing inside the template. I decided to do a Kraken tentacle theme, and honestly it took me a couple of tries to get a drawing I liked. This is the one that stuck. I'm going to go over this with marker, so it's fine to start off a little sketchy. An important thing to remember is that each part of the iron-on sticker needs to be distinct and separate, and that's why I'm adding these gaps here to make it clear where the tentacles overlap. So now I'm going over that drawing with a fine tip marker so I can make it really clean and get all the detail that I want. So I'm skipping ahead to my finished drawing. You'll notice everything is in black and white. There's no gray for cutting on the vinyl cutter. So I'm skipping a step here, which is scanning your design so that you can have a file of it on your computer. I used the scanner at the library to create a PDF, and then I used a free site called pdf2jpeg.net to turn that into a JPEG. You could also create a JPEG by taking a photo on your phone, whatever works for you. All right, so I've got my Silhouette Studio software. This is free to download from the internet, so I'm going to use it to help set up my cut. Because this grid is in inches, it makes it pretty easy to see what size the object is going to be when you cut it. So I'm going to open up my file. I got it right here, the Kraken. This is huge, unnecessarily huge. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit this little lock so that the proportions, the aspect ratio remains the same. I'm going to say my largest width is 12 inches because that's what'll fit on the map. And then I'm going to move it over. There we go. And this little error is saying that this is low resolution. That's because this is bigger, the file size is bigger than my original drawing, and the scan is not perfect. But I'm going to work with it at this size because I think that'll help me get the clearest image in the end. I'm now going to go to the trace panel here on the side. I'm going to select my trace area, and I'm going to select my whole drawing and just let it do its thing. You'll see that the yellow is going to be what shows up as my sticker. Everything else is going to be just blank space. The threshold, I could mess with the threshold a little bit to see if I can get rid of some of these little bits and extra bubbles, but I don't know that it's helping a ton, and it's also like taking away some of my lines. So I'm gonna find like a happy medium here and pretty much stick with what it offered me in the first place. So I've got it selected. I'm gonna select Trace. And now I can move my image away and I'll be able to just see the cut. Those red lines are where the blade is gonna cut the paper. I'm gonna delete the image because I don't need it anymore. There we go. I've got my object, I've got my drawing, and where these red lines are is where the cuts are gonna happen. So you'll see I have a lot of extra little specks and little bits that I don't need. So I'm gonna select the whole thing. I'm gonna go to Object, and I'm gonna say Release Compound Path. That's gonna make it so that each line is a separate object. And now I can go in, I can select areas that include stuff I don't need, like these three little blips, and I can just delete them. So I'm gonna do that for any, and I can also do like, I clicked this one, now I'm gonna hold Shift and click some more. I can just click any areas that I know I'm going to want to get rid of and delete. So it's a little tedious, but it actually doesn't take too long, and it's kind of satisfying to get rid of these little guys. And you'll see I'm just cleaning it up. See, I made a mistake because I deleted my line I didn't mean to, so I'm just going to hit Command Z and undo that. All right. So another trick we can do is to select everything. So I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to click Simplify. And it doesn't immediately look like a ton has happened, but if you zoom in here, look how much smoother some of these lines are. And then if it made any mistakes, or if there are places where things get a little juddery and you don't want them that way, then you can just go back and select your edit points. And often you'll see more edit points at the places where things get a little funky. So you can just go in and select the ones that you don't need. Even that one I think we don't need. Yep. If you mess up, just undo. Okay, so I'm going to show you another cool trick. If you have an area, say like this, where things are mostly how you want them, but it's just a little not quite as clean as it could be, you can select the edit points, and then up here you're going to click this S, and then it's going to convert shapes that are made from straight lines into smooth lines with fewer points. So it just kind of cleans it up. I'm going to do the same with this. Yep. And then still, you know, like here, this is a little messy. I'm just going to get rid of some of these. All right, we're going to go into fast motion. You can watch me play around with some of these edit points. Each time you click on one, it turns white when it's selected, and then you'll see handles that let you adjust the curvature of the line. It just takes some experimentation to get used to, and you want to play around with all the options, and you'll figure it out. It just takes a little time. Here you see my finished file. This has smoothed out all the rough edges, and if you count across, each of these large squares is 1 inch. So I've placed it in the corner so that I don't waste any of the vinyl, and I've counted across to make sure that my measurement matches the size of my mask. I'm not going to show every detail of the cutting process because you'll learn how to do that in the space, but for now, know that when you put the vinyl down on your cutting mat, your image is going to come out reversed. So you need to either flip it horizontally in Silhouette Studio, or when you send it to the machine, you're going to choose Mirror Image. How you set your blade will depend on both the age of the blade and the thickness of the vinyl. I ended up cutting at a 3. You can always do a test cut in the corner so that you'll be cutting through the vinyl and not through the plastic overlay. Next, you're going to go in with a weeding tool, taking out the big pieces first and then little pieces that you want to get rid of. You're basically creating negative space. You're going to want to pin down your mask to a hard surface where you can make sure you've got any wrinkles smoothed out, and then you can figure out where your sticker fits best on the mask. Before you can iron, you need to cover that plastic. You can use parchment paper. This vinyl came with a sheet of Teflon, so that works well too. Now for each part of your mask, you're going to simply press the iron for 10 to 15 seconds. You don't want to slide it around the way you would if you were ironing clothes. After each part of the sticker has been pressed, you can let it cool for another 10 to 15 seconds and then peel the plastic away. If any part of the sticker comes up, you're going to want to lay it back down and press it again. All right, so I completed that process for each of the 3 pieces of my sticker, and this is how it turned out. It came out remarkably well. Even though the cotton is stretchy, the vinyl's a little stretchy too, so it fits, and you can tell that it works as a mask. You can do this on any piece of fabric that works with the vinyl that you're using. This one works with cotton or polyester, so just check the label. But if you want to do this on a t-shirt or something like that after we get rid of the masks, you can totally do that. In terms of cleaning instructions, check out the label on the vinyl that you use. This one says it's machine washable, but if you really love what you created, I might stick with hand washing just to be safe. If you need help setting up your file, I'm hosting a drop-in program on Zoom on June 1st, where if you're able to share your screen, I'll be able to help you live. We also have laptops that you can use in YOUmedia, so feel free to drop by the space at Humboldt Park. If you want to schedule a time to get help with your file in person or to use the cutter, you can always email me at mwilson12@shipublib.org and we'll set it up.